All right, everyone, I have a lot to get into in this video today, so let's just jump right to it. And of course, you guys can see it right up on the screen here. We do indeed have a Halloween fusion. I thought it was too good to be true. I really was trying to stay as positive as I could, but with all the stuff that's been happening in Raid Shadow Legends lately, with all of the very questionable summon events and the rate ups, I did not really have high expectations, but we do indeed have a legendary fusion, limited time for Halloween, and it is actually going to be for that pumpkin-looking guy that you guys have probably seen on the Twitter, on the Raid Shadow Legends Facebook. I think they even teased it a little bit on the official Raid YouTube. So it is going to be this guy right here, Harvest Jack, and you guys can see all the different stuff that you are going to need in order to fuse for him. It is limited time, so you have 2 weeks, 2 days, and 15 hours. Can only be fused once, of course. And this is definitely pretty overwhelming at a first glance. There is a lot of stuff here. I'm going to break it down, get into all the details, talk about all the stuff. We actually have a couple of the events that just started running as well. We've got the, I think it's the Dungeon Divers event, which just started as well. And we also have a tournament. I think it's the Champion Chase tournament that just started as well. But that's not it. There's a whole bunch of other stuff. So let's actually go to the news post because we have a few things here that I haven't talked about. This came out, I think, earlier today or last night. Coming soon, 4 new Halloween champions. So when I saw this, I didn't want to make a video just talking about this because I was a little bit skeptical, because usually when we have a new fusion come out, it's actually 5 champions that you are expecting to be a total part of the fusion, not including the rares. This is just epics, and of course the final result, which is going to be a legendary. So I was a little bit worried about this because it was only 4 new champions, because I thought you needed 5 champions for a fusion. I was wondering maybe they're just going to release these champions and you have to pull for them, but it turns out that that's not actually the case. So of course, you guys have seen it, we do indeed have a fusion, and the reason is because one of these champions that you actually need for the fusion is a champion that we already have, and it's going to be this right here, High Katoon. Now I know what you're thinking. As soon as I saw this, I was thinking to myself, oh no, don't tell me that they are going to have us fuse our one and only precious High Katoon that you get from login rewards in order to get this limited legendary fusion, because I know that that was not going to happen for me. Not only is High Katoon a fantastic epic champion that you end up getting for free just by playing the game and logging in, but I actually already have my High Katoon fully ranked up, ascended, and built, so I definitely was not going to sacrifice her in order to get a fusion champion. Wasn't going to happen, but don't worry, you guys don't have to worry about that, because you will have an opportunity through the events to get another High Katoon in addition to the one from login rewards, so you don't have to worry about that. So when you take this out of the equation, that makes sense now. We do have our 4 new champions, including the legendary result, Harvest Jack, and we also have 3 other new epics. So let's get into some of the details of the actual events. So here we go, a frightening fusion event. Time for a bone-chilling fusion for those who are brave enough. From Friday, October 25th to Sunday, November 10th, a brand new legendary champion, Harvest Jack, will be available for fusion. To fuse Harvest Jack, you'll need to get the following 4 champions: Sue Firstborn, Maeve, High Katoon, and Lady Atessa. And don't worry, they're all available through events, challenges, and battles. Here's how you get them. So at first glance, I saw this stuff and I was like, okay, this looks pretty familiar. A lot of the fusions that we've had in the game are pretty similar to this, especially the recent ones. They kind of run these different events, these different tournaments, and you have opportunities to end up getting the champions for the fusion through all these different events, tournaments, and whatnot. I thought it was like the Molly fusion, but then I went back and I looked at it, and it's actually a little bit different. I would say it's probably closer to the Foley fusion. You guys will see why in a second. So we have Sue Firstborn available from Champion Chase Tournament October 31st through November 2nd, and Champion Training Events October 28th through November 6th. We have Maeve fused from these 4 champions. These are going to be the rares that you need to fuse for the epic, which then of course you fuse the epics to get the legendary. Stitch Beast available from Champion Training Tournament October 28th through November 1st. Hyris, available from Palace of Arabia. So that's just going to be one of your plain old farmable champions from the campaign. So those of you guys, if you do have a couple of extra of these lying around, probably the smart thing to do. I know it can be a little bit difficult to do with our limited champion storage, but just going to be one of the farmable champions from the campaign. I know there's a couple other that are going to be like that as well. So that's one of the requirements right there. Let's see. Beast Wrestler, available from the Spider Dungeon. So this is why I said it's going to be a bit more similar to the Foley Fusion, because I remember this was the struggle for me. I was not able to end up getting, I think it was Tree Fellow, something along those lines that you needed. I believe it was for Foley. It couldn't drop for me. It took me forever to end up getting it. I almost didn't make the event just because of that one rare champion. It was a struggle. Madman, available from Dungeon Divers event October 25th through October 30th. And then here's the High Katoon. So once again, don't have to worry about using your one precious High Katoon. You will have the opportunity to fuse another one that you can use for this limited fusion. Fused from these 4 champions. Amarantine Skeleton, available from Arena Assault, November 1st through November 7th. Muckstalker, available from Godfrey's Crossing, so that's going to be another campaign area. Ghoulish Ranger, available from Dragon's Lair. And Mother Superior, available from Dungeon Divers event October 25th through October 30th. And finally, you have Lady Atessa, which is fused from 4 more rares. Steadfast Marshal, available from Champion Training October 28th through November 1st. Templar, available from Valdemar Strait, again, another campaign area. Runic Warder, available from Fire Knight's Castle, and Agitator, available from Champion Training Event October 28th through November 6th. So this is definitely going to be a grind. Now, I will say this, it obviously is going to be a major grind. I hope you guys have at least some resources saved up for it. There is a bit of a light at the end of the tunnel, or I guess some good news is that a lot of these champions that you need to either farm dungeons or the campaign for, at least there's going to be events running at the same time, so you'll kind of be able to knock out 2 birds with 1 stone. So, you know, when there's a Dungeon Divers event running, which there's actually one running right now, I believe it just started, it's a 6-day event, which is awesome. This would be a great opportunity to not only farm for the Dungeon Divers event, but also, if you do plan on end up doing this fusion, you'll be able to farm for the rare champions that you need for the epic champions from the dungeons. So in this case, it would be the Beast Wrestler from Spider, Ghoulish Ranger from Dragon's Lair, and Runic Warder from Fire Knight's Castle. And then I guess you could do the same thing from the campaign champions. So when there's events that are going to make it more preferential to farm the campaign for those resources, then you can kind of get to work on Palace of Arabia, Godfrey's Crossing, and Valdemar Strait. Now, another good news, I guess, about the campaign ones is I believe they're all towards the end. So Palace of Arabia is going to be campaign stage 6, Valdemar Strait is going to be campaign stage 8, and Godfrey's Crossing is going to be 10. So a good way to think about it when it comes to the campaign, obviously as you go up and get closer to stage 12, you're going to get more experience and more rewards in general. So the lower stages are going to be less efficient in terms of experience and resources, but typically another thing is a lot of the better sets drop in the lower versions or the lower campaign maps, so you kind of have to sacrifice your efficiency if you want to get these basic really good gear sets. But the good news about this event is that you have stage 6, you have stage 8, you have stage 10, so even when you are farming for those champions, if you don't actually have one saved up already, you'll still be able to get a good amount of experience for your champion training and you're ranking up your fodder and whatnot. So it's not like you'll only be wasting your energy trying to get those champions. You know, it would be a different story if it was, you know, in the lower stages like Kyrok's Castle or Sewers of Ardok. When you farm these, even on Brutal, the amount of experience that you get, it's pretty low for the amount of energy that you spend. So a little bit of light at the end of the tunnel, or just good news in general, I guess you could say. Here you have the time-limited drops for the Spider's Den, for the Dragon's Lair, and also for Fire Knight's Castle. None in Ice Golem's Peak, which is interesting, but you are also going to need those for the fusion. It is still definitely going to end up being quite a bit of a grind. So, you know, a lot of stuff to actually do. Now, we do have 2 of these events that just started right now. I guess I'll briefly go over them, because I thought this was interesting. So we have the Dungeon Divers event. We've definitely had these before. 4,000 point Dungeon Divers. I don't remember how many points the one that we've had before were, but I don't think they were 4,000. I think they were lower. I want to say they were 2,500 or 3,000, something along those lines. But at least it's not super crazy. You know, we're not talking about 15,000, 20,000, 30,000 points. We also have 6 days to end up getting 4,000 points, which is really nice. So if you scroll down here, you'll see all the rewards. There are also some books that you can get as well. You have a legendary skill book at the very end. You have an epic skill book. And then, of course, these are the champions. They haven't loaded in, probably because this event just came out, so my game hasn't really fully updated. But those are the champions that you're going to need for the fusion, as well as just overall some pretty decent rewards. You know, you've got the books, of course. You got an ancient shard, some energy gems, and, of course, the champions for the fusion. And then you have a, right now, we also have a tournament running, and it's going to be the Champion Chase Tournament. This one is not 6 days, it's only 3. This is probably going to be a bit more difficult because it is going to involve getting champions. Yes, you don't have to end up pulling from ancient shards or whatnot. You can get them from the market. You can get them from the campaign. Anytime you do end up getting champions through any other method. So even when you are claiming champions from other events, you will still end up earning points towards champion chases. So always a good idea to hold off on claiming your rewards so you can benefit from something like this. As you can see, you are going to need to get 2,000 points for one of these champions here. And if you do end up getting to 3,000, you'll get yourself an epic book as well. Pretty typical for a Champion Chase tournament. I mean, honestly, most of the time it's going to be better to save your shards for a double rates event. But for this event, there's going to be plenty of other ways that you can end up getting points. So that's my general recommendation for Champion Chase, is try to end up getting your points through other methods first. You know, it even says them right here. Maybe buy up really cheap stuff in the market, even though it costs silver and it's more efficient to end up summoning from mystery shards. You will get those extra points. It might be worth it. The campaign, dungeons, try to get your points any other way besides just mass pulling shards that you could wait for a double rates event. That's just my suggestion. And we've got pretty typical rewards as well. Energy, clan boss key, gems. Obviously, they have the Relentless sets here at the top because the game does value Relentless gear as the best. That's just Polarium's idea. They say Relentless gear is the best, which is why they reward it for these tournament slots, is because they think the whales are going to fight over it. And sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. Just depends on the kind of bracket that you are assigned. But there is still definitely some other stuff that I want to end up getting into. I'm going to go over the actual skills of all 4 of the new champions for the fusion. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to save that for part 2 for a couple of reasons. First of all, we're already at almost 13 minutes, and generally speaking, I've taken a look at the YouTube numbers. I've crunched the numbers down, and it seems like people prefer the videos when they are closer to a 13, 14, 15 minute length. So that's one reason. The other reason is it's very late here. It's about 2 in the morning, and I couldn't sleep, but I realized that this just came out right as I was going to get to sleep. So I wanted to put this out there, get this out there for you guys, and then tomorrow when I'm a little bit more refreshed and my mind is a little bit more sharp, I'll be able to go over the skills and talk about the new champions and maybe anything else that I missed or glanced over with all of this Halloween madness. But for now, that is going to be it for tonight. So thank you guys for watching. I hope that you guys are excited about all this Halloween stuff. Let me know what you guys think about this. Feel free to let me know in the comment section. And of course, if you guys are new to the channel and you enjoyed this video and want more videos like this in the future, consider subscribing. Once again, thank you so much, everyone, for 18,000 subscribers. You guys are absolutely awesome, so thank you so much. And of course, if you enjoyed the video and you have a quick second, if you could toss a like, that would be absolutely fantastic as well. Thank you to all of you guys who do that. With that all being said, that's going to be it for now. Thanks again, everyone. Have a good night. And until next time, this is Salt of the Salty Guild, signing out.